Hello, I have a Altoids Survival tin that I made over a year ago and took with me to Afghanistan and back. And I did have some rubber bands on the outside, but in the time that I've taken it to Afghanistan and back and used it there, the rubber bands all dry rotted. So when I took this out of the bag that I had it in, they all pretty much fell off. On the outside, on the back, you can see that I had some aluminum foil on here that used to be quite bright, but the wear and tear of the travel and so forth has taken care of it. But it did last for quite some time before all this took place. And the point of this was a signaling mirror. You could use it as a signaling mirror. It's still quite bright and still very reflective, as you can see. So in a bright sunlight, it could be quite useful still. On the outside, I've taken electrical tape. The guy that I got this idea from off of YouTube just had one little piece that wrapped around it once, and he said it was more for waterproofing. It does have that value, but I put it on there more to give you, as you can see, 2 or 3 feet of electrical tape to use down the road for whatever need you may have while you're surviving. As you can see, it's stuffed full, so the electrical tape holds it together as well. The lid actually stays on. You can close it without it popping off like it did, but inside of it I have a piece of duct tape, and underneath the duct tape I have part of my fishing kit, and I have the razor blade. I have 4 fish hooks, as you can see, and then I have the open hook there in the middle for multiple purposes, as well as the closed ones that you can use by screwing them into a stick and running your fishing line through, which is in here as well, and make yourself a fishing pole for food purposes. I have on top here, I have some moleskin for the purpose of blisters to help alleviate that discomfort. I have a couple of just regular old band-aids inside of here as well. And then I have 4 packages of alcohol for cleaning purposes of whatever you might need to clean, whether it's something that you're going to eat out of or whether it's cut or some other form. A couple of butterfly band-aids, and then inside I have a Ziploc bag that's all wrapped up and folded over and minimized and wrapped with a little piece of tape so it can be stuffed in there easily. Again, that has multiple purposes. And then we'll get to that in a minute. I have taken a Ziploc bag and I cut it up. I cut the top off and the bottom, and then taped the bottom and covered it with electrical tape. And inside of it I put water purifying pills, Benadryl, a couple of pillows of Benadryl, and a couple of Tylenols. Most of them are water purifying pills. I think there's a dozen water purifying pills. And then underneath the electrical tape I have some dental floss for whatever purpose you might need it for, whether it's sewing up a wound or tying something together, because you've run out of other ways to do that. And then, and the reason that it's covered with electrical tape is because, as most of you probably know, water purifying tablets need to be kept out of the sunlight. So I wrapped it in the electrical tape to protect them from the sunlight, so that if you take it out of here, you can keep it out of here and you don't have to keep putting it back in, and you can use the tin for other things if you need to. I have a small lighter, a little mini lighter. I got like 6 of them for $2, and I wrapped it with string. The string has multiple uses. Again, you can lash things together, or you can take it apart and use it as tinder, because it's quite, as you can see, it's already coming apart. But there's about 20 feet of it on here for anything that might be needed for. I have one of these fire starters. Again, it's a tinder source. It's soaked in, I think it was kerosene, but I don't remember what they said it was. But it's soaked in a burnable liquid. It comes in a packet of 4 or 6. I don't remember. I've made multiples of these and gave them out to guys that I went to Afghanistan with. And you take it apart and break it up, and then use it to light a fire and get a fire started. And inside of here is Neosporin, and this is it's squeezed down, it's flattened out, but it's a large straw. They're quite big, and I've cut it down and cut the angle here so that you can use the razor blade or knife or whatever you have to cut it. You just cut the tip and you can squeeze it out, and then the rest stays in there more easily. The straws that I've seen with Neosporin have always been the small ones, and they've been cut straight like this so that you cut it and then your Neosporin is all leaked out and you have no real easy way to keep it in there. I think this would be a better way to keep the Neosporin in for multiple uses. And then inside of another one of those straws, I have the remainder of my fishing kit. You can see the sinkers that are in there, and you can also see that there are a couple of matches in there. Those are the just regular kitchen matches. They're not waterproof, so I put them inside of here. I cut notches in the end of the straw and then wrapped about 20 to 30 feet of 15-pound test fish line around it, and then you use a little bit of duct tape to hold it on there. And that's the rest of my fishing kit, along with the top piece that came out. I have a small little button compass. Works really, really well. The thing about this one, though, is it can quite easily be lost, so you have to be careful about that. But it works really well, and it's very durable. And they came in a package of 6 for like $4 or $5. I have a little thing of super glue that I've taken apart and put inside of there. Again, it has multiple uses: closing cuts or putting things, gluing something together that you've created or you are using or had with you but broke and need to put back together. I have a nail and then a second nail. This nail I used to wrap around 3 or 4 feet of duct tape around it for use later. Again, the nails have whatever use you want to use them for. They can be used for multiple different things. I have inside of here a couple of blades as well as the razor blade. I have this small serrated saw blade that's I think supposed to be for a jigsaw. I found a package of 5 or 6 of them at the dollar store, and it's not that sharp, but I guess in a pinch it would definitely be better than having nothing. For instance, your blade is serrated, but if you were to break it or lose it or are using it for some other purpose, you can always come back to this to cut small branches down to size, make yourself a shelter, make a fire, tinder, or whatever you might need it to be. And you've got the multiple holes in here. I broke the handle off. You got the multiple holes in here that you could slash it or tie it to a stick and make yourself a spear, or a small handle to make it easier for you to cut through branches and so forth. I've got down inside of here as well about 3 square feet of aluminum, heavy-duty aluminum foil. You can make a bowl, purify some water. You can make a bowl, cook food in. Again, it's another signaling source because you can see it can be quite bright, so you can signal helicopters or whatever happens to be flying overhead. But I made this using other people's ideas as well as my own creativity, and came up with my own Altoids Survival Kit. Some of the ideas I got from other people, I wanted to thank them for. And then if anybody has any ideas on a better way to make or other things to put inside of this kit, I'd be appreciative of any comments that you want to leave.